Everybody limps to Negreanu's big blind, happy to take an almost family pot with the loose cannon.
Buddy, he shows you nothing. He showed me a full house.
And there goes Tony G. See ya.
The flop comes rainbow, but both Negreanu and Hellmuth hit top pair. Wiggins and Daniel check. Lack attacks the standard range poke on this dry board, hoping no one has a queen. Hellmuth immediately bumps it to protect the queen and tacks any potential draws, denying price to gutters. Wiggins gets out of the way. Daniel now springs the trap and re-raises to more than $11,000.
Phil lock. See ya.
And tries to rep a bigger queen at Phil's, and it sets the tone that the big blind can still own boards that strike his defending range. Phil, with queen 9 in position, makes the call. He beats every bluff, ties some value, and thinks Daniel can be overprotecting a queen or leaning on fold equity. The turn pairs the board with the 2 of diamonds. That card massively reduces the number of value combos Daniel must fear. But more importantly, the pair deuce kills a lot of Phil's semi-bluff equity and makes it harder for Phil to credibly have a monster. Daniel fires 12,000. This bet is thin for value plus protection, denies free cards, and prevents Phil from realizing with hands that raised flop light. Phil calls again, which is consistent with his plan to bluff catch cap lines and keep Daniel honest on rivers. The river is the 7 of clubs, a relative brick that doesn't complete the major straight draws. Daniel checks.
A queen. Me too. No kicker. Ah, I screwed that up. I should have moved in on the river. Damn it. God, I'm so unlucky. Stupid. Unreal. The deuce on the turn.
Deuce on the turn saves your ass.
Sick. He's supposed to bet there. I'm going to move it in. Who are these guys? Where do they come from? Sick.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on king-queen offsuit. The table is 4-way after Tony G opens, and Viffer, Negreanu, and Scott Seaver all come along. That matters because equities flatten in multi-way pots. Single pair hands lose value while nutted, and draw heavy holdings gain. Tony G's range from early position in this lineup still contains suited connectors.
This is room for everyone to keep improving.
I mean, the way you guys all play, there's certainly tons of room.
Yeah.
Scott calls.
I'm going to go with an old Hellmuth trick. Watch this, gentlemen. Check in the dark. How do you fade that? Seriously. Check in the dark. I don't even want to see what's coming.
Checking through is revealing. On this texture, the pre-flop raiser has a lot of one pair and gut shot combinations that dislike being raised by 3 players.
See how that worked? Because if I wouldn't have done that, they would have been more scared. My turn, right?
Daniel's still open-ended.
Did you qualify?
Yes. I've qualified pretty comfortably at this point. Question is, how much do I want to put in there?
You checked.
No, I'm not. I'm not, for sure.
You're not checking?
Yeah. If you're folding any bet, you can just do that now. I'm going to put in...
The turn is the 7 of spades, a huge card for Tony G's side of the range, and a bad one for capped checkbacks. Negreanu leads $3,600 into the field, a small sizing that targets folds from the Broadway airballs, and denies equity to Queen 9, 9-8, and the club draws. Scott's call with Queen Jack keeps dominated queens in, but the raise from Tony G to $14,000 is the pivotal data point. After a street of passivity, that raise is heavily weighted to value.
If I win the pot, I'll give you your money back.
Negreanu's call with King-Queen looks ambitious only if you ignore blocker logic. He removes the queen that completes Tony G's higher straight and retains outs to the ace or 9 to make his own. Scott correctly recognizes he's in kicker jail and releases.
Wow, that was a big sweat.
Took a long time. That speech really got him.
He made a big laydown just now.
The river is the 9 of diamonds. Range-wise, it's a dagger for Tony G. His made straight from the turn remains a straight, but Negreanu's king-queen now upgrades to the higher straight. When Negreanu fires $35,000, the story is polarized between exactly that high straight and bluffs that bricked clubs or random Queen X that tried to push Tony G off a one-pair hand.
Are you also offering my 4,800 back if you...
Tony calls and Daniel wins a $100,000 pot.
I had the nuts on the turn. Wow, well done.
Felt like
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on ace-9 offsuit. Negreanu clocks the dynamic immediately. Wiggins is the table's loose cannon, splashing around, loving post-flop control, and hating big, uncomfortable decisions. Negreanu's plan is simple. Lean on that psychology and the betting patterns it produces. Pre-flop, Negreanu opens to $1,600 with ace-9 offsuit, a hand that prints against wide callers and keeps his range uncapped. Lack and Tony G both flat, inviting the very scenario Negreanu wants. A multi-way pot where discipline and range construction matter more than raw cards. Wiggins completes from the big blind with king-queen, already signaling he'd rather see streets than narrow ranges.
Tony G checks.
I'm gonna bet 5,000.
Wiggins does what loose cannons do, fires $5,000 to protect and find out where he is. Negreanu only calls. That flat does three things at once. It keeps Lack in a dominated, second-best world. If he sticks around, it conceals bluffs and value under the same hood, and it sets a trap for the sizing tells Wiggins tends to give on later streets. Lack gets out of the way, and we go heads up. The turn is the 5 of clubs.
I respect you as equal as I respect Doyle, man. But you're not slacking up on me at all. You really gonna make sure that, you know what I'm saying, you making sure I wear my stripes on this table.
That's right.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
A total brick for the main draws. Watch the bet sizing. Wiggins downgrades to a $2,500 blocker. That's the cap Negreanu was waiting for. Into 17,400. A tiny stab screams one pair pot control, not a hand eager to face heat. Negreanu raises to $12,500.
You beat me in the pot right there.
So,
He's leveraging position, fold equity, and his ace blocker. He makes it harder for the loose cannon to have the very hands that could comfortably 3-bet. The call, not a re-raise, confirms the cap. The river pairs the jack with the jack of hearts, killing some 2-pair combos and leaving most draws bricked. Wiggins checks, and Negreanu goes for the throat with $35,000.
oh man, you really try to pull the trigger there, didn't you, man? Caught the jack, didn't you? Caught the jack. You had it the whole time, didn't you?
No comment.
Too late, you already nodded your head yes. I
Say
fold.
what?
I fold. You nodded your head yes, real quick. Or what?
Kid.
Too fast for me.
Cannett opens the button to $120,000 with pocket aces, a standard, linear raise that wants calls from dominated aces and broadways. Haxton defends the big blind, getting a great price. That defend thrives versus late position opens. It flops backdoor straights, occasional 2-pair, and the jack of clubs is a premium blocker that unlocks strong semi-bluff lines on club boards. Effective stacks are deep enough that Haxton's plan is realize equity first, attack later.
Wow, what a flop. Top set for Cannett, royal flush draw for Ike.
On the flop, Cannett smashes top set in nut club density, c-bets tiny, keeping his whole range intact and denying equity from random hands. With one club and no made hand yet, Haxton's raise would isolate himself against nut clubs and boats. Calling is superior. He realizes equity with his jack-high club while keeping every worse club and many red card bluffs from Cannett inside the pot. The turn is the 7 of clubs, and Haxton arrives with the flush. Checking is mandatory. His range needs check calls to protect earlier passivity, and it invites bets from one club hands and overpairs without a club. Top set without a club hates facing a check raise, and his turn checking range is heavy on exactly what Haxton targets. The river pairs the queen, double pairing the board with ace and queen. That card is far better for Cannett than for Haxton. It promotes ace-queen and pocket queens to boats, and leaves many single club hands stuck as one pair. Haxton leads $450,000 into roughly $590,000, avoiding torching value versus boats. Cannett responds by shoving for Haxton's effective stack, polarizing to full houses or an extremely rare bluff. Given the turn check, his credible bluffs are thin. A jack-high flush is strong in a vacuum, but not against this line and texture.
You win.
Let's it go.
Show me the bluff. It'll be a lot of fun.
Don't do it.
You're just not believable anymore, okay? Stop.
Helmuth kicks things off with pocket kings. He was getting a bad beat after bad beat on this table. So now his fortunes seem to be turning around.
Helmuth with kings now? Well, he's lipped it a bunch. Let's see if he keeps it balanced.
Come on, just min-raise it.
Raise
Oh my God,
Raise it up
why?
to 8.
After 3 folds, we reach Chamath with his king 4 suited. It must be his lucky hand or something, because he will call Helmuth's bet. Unfortunately for him, though, Stanley, who is looking down on these juicy queens, is going to.
Raise.
Raise it. 5,200.
There's the 3-bet. Just a call from Phil. No 4-bet. Getting the other people out. That's going to bring Keating in, I'm sure it does.
Helmuth is probably silently screaming from happiness on the inside. This 3-bet is perfect for him, and he snap calls it. The real question is, why would Keating and Chamath pay this steep price with such marginal hands? But that, I will leave to you, the viewer. The flop comes 8-7-8 rainbow. It might not be perfect because sometimes pair of 7s or 8s gets through this 3-bet to see the flop. But Helmuth should be reasonably happy with how it turned out for now. Stanley bets $5,000 again. And this time out, only Helmuth will make the call, with Keating and Chamath finally taking the smart and right option of folding those weak hands.
And the queen on the turn. Oh, we're going to see some steam.
Gentlemen, I can officially attest to the fact that Helmuth is probably the unluckiest player I have ever seen. This queen is about to wipe the calmness off of Helmuth's face. The only question left is, will Choi play it so he extracts maximum value plus a bonus of Helmuth's rage at the end?
That 21.
All right, 21,000.
Wow. I have a bad feeling you have me, but I have an overpair.
Yep.
Come on, this motherfucking goddamn fucking queen.
What's that? What's that?
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at 6-5 offsuit, but he's up against his nemesis of 20 years, Phil Ivey, who's holding King-Jack suited. Ivey raises to 75,000. Most players would probably fold in Daniel's spot.
No choice. Can't fold it. Gotta see a flop in the big blind.
There's the call. So it's Daniel versus Phil.
Ivey is 64% favorite for now, but the flop comes 8-6-6 and Negreanu hits trips.
8 hearts.
I don't see Phil falling for this.
Phil checks too. I don't know how, but he can somehow feel Daniel is strong here.
A king on the turn.
Now I see him falling for it a little.
Negreanu wants Phil second-guessing every assumption. Wants him trapped between is he bluffing and is he setting me up? What looks like hesitation is actually misdirection. This is less about cards, more about control.
Daniel leads. Phil now with top pair.
Even if you think Daniel has a 6, you can't just go folding top pair.
Negreanu's sizing here leaves Ivey about 3.5 to 1 on a call. And with top pair, that's usually a no-brainer. But what Daniel's really doing here is laying the groundwork for the river. He's planting the seed that says, if you call now, you're going to have to call big later. This is psychological compounding. Pressure applied in stages. Daniel is hoping that Phil did indeed hit that king on the turn, and he's going to try to make him sweat like a maniac.
He calls. The river is a jack.
Wow, Daniel is running better than Prefontaine.
Daniel value bets his trips. Phil forced to call with top 2.
Nope.
So obvious you have a 6. Got 350.
The trip 6s. Phil shows King Jack for top 2. Daniel's trip 6s takes 5.
Good call, good call. Good thing you didn't raise. That was smart. You know what you're doing. Moron, mother.
Helmuth kicks things off with pocket deuce. This is a hand that only someone as wild as Phil Helmuth can play when faced with a raise. Little does he know, his aggression will end up making him mad once again.
You were like drawing dead.
Right after making the call, Helmuth plays one of his special cards. Complete shithousery. He directly calls out his opponent for drawing dead and bluffing him. Let's see if it will work out. Perkins completely unbothered by Helmuth's antics calls with 8-4 suited. I guess these must be his lucky numbers, or else I don't see a reason why he would go three-way with these cards. The flop is here, and oh boy, does it deliver some drama. We have 5 with 2 jacks. Now it can be anyone's game. Let's see what Helmuth will do here. With Perkins and Williams both showing weakness with their checks, Helmuth will want to take control of the pot. To do that, he instantly fires a bet for $4,000. Perkins with his 8-4 suited didn't have to think too long about what to do next, and does what every one of us would do in this spot and folds. Williams, on the other hand, didn't think at all. He snap called the bet as if he is holding the nuts and is just waiting for Helmuth to bloat the pot some more. The turn delivers a queen of clubs, which makes things even more interesting. Now Williams has an open-ended straight draw and is looking stronger than ever in this hand. Even though the turn improved his hand, Williams still decides to check in order to see how Helmuth will play it out first. And that's exactly what Helmuth was waiting for. After no more than a few seconds of thinking, he fires another 4,000 bet, trying to pressure Williams out of seeing the river. For better or for worse, Williams almost snap calls the bet, which means he either thinks Helmuth has nothing or is just feeling super lucky.
Even a 5 or a queen can counterfeit Phil's hand.
The turn delivers a king, which completely shifts the game, and Williams is now in the lead. Make sure to watch until the end to see Helmuth going crazy after the showdown.
King. Here it comes.
That's the ejector seat straight out of Goldfinger. Yums.
Moron, mother.
Daniel Negreanu kicks things off with Queen Jack offsuit. He is raised to $2,800, but is up against Tony G with Ace King offsuit.
Action folds over to Tony G, who makes the call.
2 strong hands going into the flop.
Queen 6 Jack.
King of the world.
Check by Tony G.
Tony G's missed. Daniel's gonna fire with top 2.
Bets 5,500.
Tony G knows Negreanu would bet this flop even if he had nothing, but he decides not to go for a semi-bluff raise, and instead, he floats, letting Daniel tell his tale while he quietly waits for something on the turn.
Tony has 2 overcards, even though they're no good. He's really only looking for a 10 to make a gut shot.
There it is.
Tony G tries to keep a poker face as he just hit his straight. He knows Daniel Negreanu is the best of all time at reading people. This is a critical moment to let Daniel continue building the pot. He checks, letting Daniel think 2-pair is the best hand here. Tony is in total control right now, patiently waiting for the right time to make his next raise get called.
Daniel bets 14 grand. A raise to 50,000 by Tony G.
A quick raise of 50,000. Tony's the kind of player that could be doing this with a worse 2-pair. He could be doing it with a draw. He could be doing it with flat out nothing, but a raise that big, that fast, usually means only one of 2 things, a monster hand or a monster bluff.
Daniel makes the call.
Tony using his hand to keep his mouth closed because it's probably watering right now.
The river gives Daniel a full house.
These two have been playing against each other at the highest level for 3 decades.
Tony checks.
Negreanu knows Tony has a straight, as you will see in his prediction at the end. He's not worried about being beaten here. He's just doing the math now. What's the number Tony G can't resist calling here?
Bet 80.
Negreanu makes it 80,000 to go. Snap call from Tony.
Negreanu shows him the bad news, hands him the keys of the city.
You had Ace King.
Yep. Well done, Daniel. Well done.
Played it good.
Nice dealer.
Sorry, Tony, you played it good.
Jennifer Tilley kicks things off with a pair of 5s. But she's up against Hashem with Ace King offsuit, who is raised to $2,500 in this crazy poker cash game.
Daniel's out. Tilly, pocket 5s.
Should be an easy call.
She does.
Surprise is one time, Ken, and just put the 3-bet in.
It'll happen.
Surprise
Not with those cards.
Are you feeling the peer pressure right now?
You can't think of it like that. You have to think that $800 bought you goodwill at the table and possibly an invitation to be invited back. Because, you know, these guys love when you straddle.
The flop comes 5 King 7 Rainbow. Jennifer hits the set and Joe Hashem just made top pair top kicker. And if you know poker, you know that's the kind of hand that makes grown men hand over their chips with a smile and then cry in the parking lot.
Tilly donks it for 3K.
Poor Joe Hashem, this is just not his week.
Poker isn't about what you have. It's about what you represent. And right now, Joe's call caps his range. He's telling Jennifer he doesn't have 2-pair. He doesn't have a set. He's sitting on a 1-pair hand, hoping to keep the pot low.
5 of clubs, quads for Jen. This is the 2nd time Joe's been up against quads this week.
Tilly is holding the bangers. But notice, no fast plays, not even a bet. She's hoping he has caught something to hold on to while she tries to slowly squeeze him off.
Joe could easily think he's ahead.
Obviously he does. He bets 6,500.
Everyone at the table thinks she's the playful actress who overplays marginal hands. But right now, she's successfully turning that persona into pure profit. And Hashem, like most men would, falls for her trap.
Jen min raises to 13K.
By making it the smallest raise possible, she's given herself a good shot at getting called.
And Joe does make the call. Jen's got quads and she's got herself a customer. Ace of diamonds, 2-pair for Joe. That is not a good card for him.
20,000.
That's 20K.
I call.
And Joe calls.
I call, Jen.
You call?
4 of a kind again.
Am I the king of quads today or what?
Joe can't believe it.
Really?
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at 10-7 offsuit, but Seaver has raised to $1,300 with pocket 5s, and Hashem has called with Jack 10 suited.
Uh-oh, this is Daniel's favorite hand, and it's actually gotten him into trouble in the big game before.
Re-raises on the button to 5,200.
He knows Seaver's range is wide and Hasham's flat is vulnerable. Even though it's his favorite hand, he's trying to play the players, not the cards. This raise is about letting them know that he's going to give them a hard time this hand if they decide to play along.
Scott Seaver is really hoping Daniel has an overpair so that he has the right implied odds to make this call.
Hasham folded, so heads up to the flop. King, deuce, queen. Seaver checks the best hand.
Negreanu knows Seaver could easily have king-queen here after raising and then calling Daniel's re-raise pre-flop. But why would he check? Daniel smells weakness, and that's usually when he gets curious.
He reps, betting 6,200.
Looks like Scott's gonna peel.
He calls.
Hasham wants his cards back.
6 of spades on the turn. Seaver checks.
Daniel still got just 10 high. This is one of the dangers of having a favorite hand.
Daniel does not look like he's about to check. After just calling the flop and checking the turn, Negreanu is probably putting Seaver on a draw or the weak pocket pair he does indeed have. He's thinking, if I apply the right pressure now, Seaver might just fold and give me all the money.
Daniel does fire that third barrel, making it 14,200 to go.
I could justify Scott's call on the flop, thinking maybe Daniel would shut down after one bet, but Daniel certainly hasn't shut down.
Seaver keeps it going. He calls.
Seaver's totally stationing Negreanu.
You mean like a calling station?
Exactly.
4 clubs on the river. Seaver checks.
Sick.
Daniel fires 36,000.
Seaver is capped, checked every street, and never repped strength. Daniel has nothing, but he knows Seaver is weak enough to fold. This is a masterclass.
Folds the winner.
Phew-wee. You had me staring. I had my favorite hand. You know what that is?
10-7?
7 of diamonds and 10 of clubs specifically. Can't believe I got away with a bluff.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on Queen 3 offsuit. He opens to $4,000 after folds.
I like this.
That raise comes from a range that includes most suited queens and bluffs that keep him wide versus 2 sticky callers. Kenny's flat call is very playable if he expects the opener to fire too often and the blinds to continue light. Solomon closes the action. This paired low board heavily favors the pre-flop raisers C-bet strategy. Negreanu owns the overpairs and all the hands that can bet small. Kenny's check call range is condensed, ace high, mid pairs, and some slow-played overpairs. Negreanu's bet is the modern range-wide stab. It denies equity from 2 overcards and keeps his value and bluff buckets indistinguishable. Kenny calls, which already caps him away from many check-raise value hands. Texture changes a little. 7-6 and 6-3 improve to straights, and Solomon's backdoor 8x would have picked up top pair, but he's gone. For the 2 players left, Negreanu still retains a nut advantage portfolio of overpairs, plus the occasional 5x suited. His bluffs pick up backdoors only rarely, so he leans on fold equity. 16,000 pressures, exactly what Kenny showed on the flop, ace high and pocket pairs under 10s. Kenny's call again narrows him to ace queen and ace king high, pocket 6s through 9s, and a few traps. Crucially, he almost never has trips or a turned 8 that wants to raise, so his range remains capped. When Kenny checks a third time, his range is now mostly ace-high and middling pairs, hoping to get to showdown. He has very few slow-played monsters after declining to raise earlier streets on such a safe runout. Negreanu fires a polarized, overbet adjacent sizing. What does he represent? Overpairs that bet all 3 streets, and the thin value of a 5x that never feared a raise. What does he target? Exactly ace-queen, ace-king, and pocket 7s through 9s.
Kenny folds.
That's one of those, right, Phil?
That was fun to watch.
Let's see it then.
You want to see it? You don't want to see it. It'll tilt you, for sure.
Let's see.
I want to see it then.
You guys really want to see? Make the game better? All right, show one for the boys.
Daniel Negreanu is holding Queen-Jack offsuit. He opens to $2,500. That's a bread-and-butter late position open, dominates the Queen 10 and Jack 10 holdings that call too often, has blockers to 3 bets, and plays cleanly post-flop in position. 3 callers flatten with wide, capped ranges. Offsuit broadways, suited aces, suited connectors, paired high card textures heavily favor the pre-flop raiser because he has all the strong Queen X and slow-played overpairs. Many callers arrive with 8x, pocket pairs, floats, or the diamond backdoors. Negreanu continuation bets $6,000 into a multi-way field, small sizing that targets folds from ace-high and underpairs while keeping dominated Queen X and diamond draws in. When Hashim continues, his range is mostly Queen X, pocket pairs stubbornly peeling, and diamond hands. Ace-high floats with backdoor equity also show up. The board double pairs, which is a dream card for the Razor's Queen X. Negreanu's value density jumps because any queen now makes a full house, and his bluffs retain good fold equity against stubborn pocket pairs and busted backdoors. He bets $12,000, again a pressure, but keep worse in sizing. Given action, Hashim is rarely trapping queens. He's weighted to diamonds, ace-high floats, and the occasional pocket pair praying for a river miracle. That river improves a lot of Hashim's floats to one pair of aces, but it doesn't dent Negreanu's nut edge. Queens still bowed up. Eights don't exist for Hashim often, and missed diamonds remain abundant. After Hashim checks the third time, Negreanu fires $27,000 for clear value.
As we young internet kids say, you're polarized. Isn't that right, Jose?
Yeah.
It's polarized.
It's polarized.
You haven't fuffled. Show me one.
Okay.
Daniel shows the jack.
I fold.
Oh, damn it.
The loose cannon is looking down on pocket jacks. He puts in the re-raise to $4,200, and that single decision defines everyone else's incentives. From his seat, he is doing two things at once: value targeting the opener with a tight, high card-heavy range, and forcing the field to reveal how speculative they're willing to get at price. And Hashim, with a mid-pair, is taking the classic set mine plus pressure line. The price after a 3-bet is not perfect, but against 3 players, the implied odds get juicier, and 7s retain outs against almost anything.
Okay, we all wasted time. We did our little, every one of us, we did the, we know we're calling.
Yeah, whenever you call, everybody knew it was.
We all know we're calling. It's just a little, we're trying to be like Jennifer Tilly there a little bit. Actors.
Oh, yeah.
The loose cannon has just connected in the strongest way possible and chooses stillness over fireworks. He does not need protection on this texture, and in a 4-handed pot, any bet from the pre-flop aggressor looks so credible that it will vacuum the air out of the room. By checking, he invites stories to bloom from worse hands and gives the field a chance to stab into a board they should attack. The turn brings the 4 of hearts, barely nudging ranges, and the checks roll to Hashim. Now he fires $12,000, smart, targeted pressure. He is keying on the universal fear of trips, punishing capped checkbacks, and leveraging position to buy folds from ace-highs and small pairs that hate life facing 2 streets.
That's what you did last time.
When?
12,000.
Last night, Hashim bet 12-5 on the river against the loose cannon. Ken made the call with queens, and Joe showed him 2 pair to take it.
It was 12,500 last time.
Frankowski just calls. Note the elegance. Raising here collapses Hashim's bluffs and isolates only better or folding hands. Calling keeps the net wide, disguises strength, and lets Hashim talk himself into bigger numbers on rivers that do not change much. River is the deuce, another brick, and Hashim does the unthinkable.
I'm all in.
He's all in.
Call. 4 jacks, I guess.
Keating's looking down on ace-queen offsuit. Peter comes along with ace-7 suited, a hand that plays fine multi-way but is easily dominated by Keating's calling range. Stanley takes the button with Jack-10, a classic position hand that realizes equity well against 3 opponents. Keating flats pre-flop with ace-queen from the small blind instead of squeezing. Out of position and deep, that call invites dominated aces and worse queens to continue while avoiding a bloated pot against a razor who can 4-bet. The flop favors ranges that arrived by calling. Keating's ace-queen makes second pair with the best kicker and holds the key blocker to Broadway. His call versus the c-bet is standard. Raising turns his hand into a bluff catcher against stronger kings and sets while isolating himself versus better. Peter's call with ace-7 is thin but defensible. He has bottom pair, an overcard, and backdoor hearts, and he wants to keep his range uncapped for later streets. Stanley's call with Jack-10 is mandatory. He has the best improvement potential with the open-ender and position. The turn ace changes the incentive structure completely. Keating now holds aces and queens, and, out of position in a multi-way pot, checking is superior. Betting announces strength, repels worse, and makes it easy for a better ace like ace-king to play perfectly against him. By checking, he allows weaker aces and floats to fire or show down worse. Peter quietly improves to 2-pair, and he should notice how clean his value targets are, aces that didn't connect with the king or queen, plus stubborn kings that hate folding. But checking has logic too. He controls the pot and traffic and preserves bluffs for the river. Stanley's check is the costly one. With Jack 10, he owns the nuts on a paired board that still grants him clear value from top pairs and combo draws. Letting it check through surrenders value and protection, and it exposes him to exactly what happens next. The board pairs again, and his straight gets stone dead. The river double pairs the ace and reorders the hierarchy. Keating upgrades to aces full of queens, Peter lands on aces full of sevens, and Stanley is drawing thin to chatter.
And this is going to get very nasty for Peter. Maybe Stanley also, but especially Peter.
Checks from Keating and the original raiser are invitations. Peter accepts with a big bet that targets trip aces and missed draws and tries to dodge raises from the few better full houses. Stanley correctly folds once the ace pairs again, straights are dust. Keating's river decision should lean exploitative here. Against Peter, who routinely overplays strong one-pair and boat combos, a value raise prince. Keating's hand is under-repped, he blocks the most common equal boat with the queen. Peter's turn check makes ace-king less likely, and Texas Mike is capped after check-check.
Did he just call? He just called.
Phil Hellmuth is looking down on 9-7 offsuit. He limps, which caps his range and invites someone to attack the dead money. Minieri obliges with an isolation raise using a suited king, a great candidate because it has blockers, plays well post-flop, and pushes the button on everyone who limped. Locke and Martinez come along, which pulls the SPR up and widens continuing ranges.
I get unstuck. I get off the tilt juice.
Hard to get off that tilt teat.
Hellmuth overcalls rather than 3-betting, a choice that keeps the pot manageable, preserves positional leverage against the raiser, and allows weaker holdings to realize without facing a big pre-flop decision. This texture is excellent for the pre-flop aggressor. As the only player who routinely shows up with strong King X after raising, Minieri can c-bet profitably. The small sizing pressures ace high, punishes underpairs, and denies equity to random backdoors while risking little against slow-played traps. Helmy's check calls instead of raising. That keeps bluffs firing, prevents the pot from ballooning versus the portion of Minieri's range that will not fold, and sets up a decision tree where Hellmuth can choose which turns to accelerate on. Multi-way callers have folded, so we are quickly moving toward a heads-up range battle that favors the in-position player's initiative and the out-of-position player's ability to trap. The second king super polarizes things. From Minieri's seat, this is a green light to barrel because his range contains far more King X than Hellmuth's limp call range. The bet around $5,300 targets exactly the hands that called once and hate life now, medium pairs and stubborn ace high, and it continues to build a pot in case he is ahead. Hellmuth's second check call is strategic. Raising isolates him against very strong holdings and folds out hands that might bluff again. Calling keeps his range wider, invites another polarized river bet, and protects the times he is bluff catching with decent showdown value. From a range math perspective, once the king pairs the pre-flop raiser's value density increases, which means the out-of-position player should avoid thin raises and lean into induce lines. Nothing material completes, so Minieri retains a nut advantage and chooses a large polar bet of $17,200. That sizing asks a capped range to overdefend, and it puts maximum pressure on one-pair type catchers that arrived here by calling twice.
Oh, man.
Hellmuth's final check call makes sense within that framework. He beats all the natural stabs that gave up drawing equity on the turn.
It's just unreal what happens to me at this place. I mean, I'm just so sick of it, you know? I mean, I had the best on the chart, I had the best on the river. I mean, what the is going on in this place? They do me
What the is going on the river? How do you call it? You always take a
trips.
bluff, I only wait for the nuts.
Moron, mother.
Hellmuth kicks things off with pocket deuce. This is a hand that only someone as wild as Phil Hellmuth can play when faced with a raise. Little does he know, his aggression will end up making him mad once again.
You were like drawing dead.
Right after making the call, Hellmuth plays one of his special cards. Complete shithousery. He directly calls out his opponent for drawing dead and bluffing him. Let's see if it will work out. Perkins completely unbothered by Hellmuth's antics calls with 8-4 suited. I guess these must be his lucky numbers, or else I don't see a reason why he would go three-way with these cards. The flop is here, and oh boy, does it deliver some drama. We have 5 with 2 jacks. Now it can be anyone's game. Let's see what Hellmuth will do here. With Perkins and Williams both showing weakness with their checks, Hellmuth will want to take control of the pot. To do that, he instantly fires a bet for $4,000. Perkins with his 8-4 suited didn't have to think too long about what to do next, and does what every one of us would do in this spot and folds. Williams, on the other hand, didn't think at all. He snap-called the bet as if he is holding the nuts and is just waiting for Helmuth to bloat the pot some more. The turn delivers a queen of clubs, which makes things even more interesting. Now Williams has an open-ended straight draw and is looking stronger than ever in this hand. Even though the turn improved his hand, Williams still decides to check in order to see how Helmuth will play it out first. And that's exactly what Helmuth was waiting for. After no more than a few seconds of thinking, he fires another 4,000 bet, trying to pressure Williams out of seeing the river. For better or for worse, Williams almost snap calls the bet, which means he either thinks Helmuth has nothing or is just feeling super lucky.
Even a 5 or a queen can counterfeit Phil's hand.
The turn delivers a king, which completely shifts the game, and Williams is now in the lead. Make sure to watch until the end to see Helmuth going crazy after the showdown.
King. Here it comes.
That's the ejector seat straight out of Goldfinger. Yums.
Moron, mother.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at 6-5 offsuit, but he's up against his nemesis of 20 years, Phil Ivey, who's holding King-Jack suited. Ivey raises to 75,000. Most players would probably fold in Daniel's spot.
No choice, can't fold it. Gotta see a flop in the big blind.
There's the call. So it's Daniel versus Phil.
Ivey is 64% favorite for now, but the flop comes 8-6-6 and Negreanu hits trips.
8 of hearts.
I don't see Phil falling for this.
Phil checks too. I don't know how, but he can somehow feel Daniel is strong here.
A king on the turn.
Now I see him falling for it a little.
Negreanu wants Phil second-guessing every assumption. Wants him trapped between is he bluffing and is he setting me up? What looks like hesitation is actually misdirection. This is less about cards, more about control.
Daniel leads. Phil now with top pair.
Even if you think Daniel has a 6, you can't just go folding top pair.
Negreanu's sizing here leaves Ivey about 3.5 to 1 on a call. And with top pair, that's usually a no-brainer. But what Daniel's really doing here is laying the groundwork for the river. He's planting the seed that says, if you call now, you're going to have to call big later. This is psychological compounding. Pressure applied in stages. Daniel is hoping that Phil did indeed hit that king on the turn, and he's going to try to make him sweat like a maniac.
He calls. The river is a jack.
Wow, Daniel is running better than Prefontaine.
Daniel value bets his trips. Phil forced to call with top 2.
Nope.
So obvious you have a 6. Got 350.
The trip 6s. Phil shows King Jack for top 2. Daniel's trip 6s takes 5.
Good call, good call. Good thing you didn't raise. That was smart. You know what you're doing.
You come to my game and you're wasting my time.
Tony G trash-talked this guy for wasting time. So much that he ended up folding aces. But how did we get to this point? Let's watch a short clip.
We're not having no internet kids coming here and being tight ass. All right, you're gonna play every hand.
We're gonna get that across right away.
I got it across and that was right. You're gonna play every hand here. You don't come here and play tight, okay?
Okay.
Come on internet you play like in 1 second. And when do you come here now? You come to my game and you're wasting my time.
Amanda, bring a tricycle.
These kids are coming here, taking me on.
Tony, calm down, please.
All of this fighting that we just saw culminates in the hand we are taking a look at today. Our hero is holding ace-jack offsuit and has already raised to $2,500. Let's see where his aggression will take him and us.
6 trays suited, good enough to call for Daniel. Queen-Jack for Alan Barry, who folds.
It's a little tight, but he is dominated.
And Reynolds folds.
Also tight, both guys were out of position to the razor.
I'm very unhappy right now.
The flop comes deuce ace king with a flush draw for Negreanu and top pair for our hero. With everybody but Negreanu folding, our hero is in prime position with his pair of aces to take over the pot. He fires a small bet of $4,000, which Negreanu casually calls. I would bet more aggressively and try to defend the top pair from the flush draw.
The turn, the 10 of diamonds. Roble picks up a straight draw.
Daniel misses.
This 10 on the turn is a tricky one. On one hand, it denies the flush draw, but on the other opens up the straight draw. Negreanu bets a bit over half the pot and is bluffing really hard and praying the river delivers him a flush. Let's hope our hero sees through his bluff and at least call. And call he does. With the top pair and a gut shot straight draw, it will be crazy to fold the hand. The river delivers another 10, which completely wrecks both of our guys' hopes. The only question is who will bluff trip 10s first.
Daniel's got air, but if he wants to win this pot, he's going to have to use that air to blow Andrew off his hand.
After a short consideration, Negreanu fires a bet of $18,000, which sits at a bit over half the pot. And that bet will trigger a huge blow-up from Tony G, who is not even in the hand. Negreanu's bet is big from the perspective of our hero, so he takes his sweet time to consider his next action, which is usually completely reasonable on a cash game table, but not when Tony G is in the picture.
I'm going to walk out. If these guys are going to come here, waste my time, I'm going to walk out of the game. It's a joke. F***ing hell, he's thinking 20 minutes every f***ing hand he's playing. F***ing nit.
Here comes floorman Tom Keene, who's received more airtime than Hoyt Corkins, who went broken 8 hands in the big game.
All right, Andrew, we're going to go through the same thing.
You play online, it's like quick. 2 seconds, bang, bang, they're pressing buttons. They come here, they freeze up.
With the countdown already ticking, all the pressure in the world was on our hero and his pair of aces. Let me know in the comments, what is the best hand that you regret folding?
He folds.
What?
Phil Hellmuth is looking down on pocket nines. He is mostly up against celebrities, but even in those situations, people find ways to make him tilt, and Mr. Beast won't be an exception.
Now he picks up the hand that won him his first World Series of Poker main event.
As we could have all expected, having amateurs on the table doesn't make things go fast, and people are more likely to play with random hands, as we can see by the many limpers. Slime takes things into his own hands, though, and raises to $2,400. That gets snap called by Mr. Beast, and after some weird shenanigans from XQC, 3 betted by him with ace deuce offsuit.
Mr. Beast with 150 in front of him, so.
$1.3 million retail, like 450 in inventory. The what? I just told the story like 3 times.
He lost a shit ton of money by tweeting out, I'm going to give people free chocolate who like this tweet.
Oh, yeah.
Now we can observe XQC looking for the jack somewhere below the table, but as he can't find it, he decides to check, which is followed by a unison check around the table until Mr. Beast does this.
Well, you're right, 10.
I don't know what Mr. Beast has, but based on what else everybody else has.
Let me know in the comments, what is your guess for Mr. Beast's cards?
Phil's gonna call anyway, with 9s. Not a believer.
The turn brings the 8 of diamonds, which I don't really know how to feel about. Not knowing Mr. Beast's cards, he might have a straight or a flush draw, and I bet Phil Hellmuth is getting more and more heated with those pocket 9s. After you see Phil Hellmuth's blow up, make sure to rate it in the comments from 1 to 10 of how crazy it was on the brat scale.
He has probably something good, and he wants me to bet. But I kind of want him to bet as well, so it's fine. What's your call on you bet? 25.
Do you make 2 pair? 10-3?
All right, that counts. Okay. I mean, I have a queen, so you probably have a king.
You got a queen? You got me.
Yeah.
Queen of hearts, 5 of hearts.
It's like impossible that I could ever be losing in this game. The man just bet a queen
you
5.
do that for a living?
I called 5,000 under the fucking gun. I got to have 9s or above, and he bet a queen 5 for value on the river.
You and him have endless trunks of money. He's a school teacher.
Hellmuth kicks things off with ace-5 offsuit. He is raised to $1,000, but he's up against Fishman with king-queen suited, who's a math teacher known for making razor-sharp, calculated plays.
I don't win very many pots from this spot, so.
Fishman calls. Williams calls. Deuce, jack, ace, 2 clubs, action flop.
This looks like a fun board.
Williams checks instantly and Hellmuth checks behind him, but Fishman isn't waiting around. He fires out $3,000 into the pot, repping strength and leaning on that nut flush draw.
Hellmuth raises.
This is a pretty easy call with a flush draw, gut shot, and 2 big cards.
And there it is by Fishman.
The turn brings the 5 of hearts, and Hellmuth quickly bets $15,000, now holding 2 pair and looking to extract value.
His pairs are still no good, but PH could be doing this with worse flush draws, and he's got enough behind for decent implied odds.
Fishman is behind, but still has plenty of outs to improve, and this decision should not be a tough one for a math whiz like him.
Add it all up, and Fishman makes the call.
He's looking for a club or a 10.
The river, there's the 10 completing the straight.
Fishman tries to keep a stone-cold face as he watches the river give him the nuts.
Action on Hellmuth.
23,600.
His bet is an attempt to build the pot, but Fishman with the nuts is gonna try to include some serious acting.
$23,600 into a $45,000 pot.
This is pretty dirty. Fishman's reverse pedaling the nuts.
Helmut with 2 pair doesn't know he's walking into a trap. Fishman with the nuts is gonna try to include some serious acting, waiting for him to commit more chips.
I'm not gonna let you do this to me again, Phil. I can't let you do this to me again.
Leonardo DiCaprio could not be selling this any better.
How much you got behind?
This is Fishman's way of trying to convince him he's not too strong. Helmut tries to keep as cold as possible and doesn't even answer Fishman's question.
Was there an answer to that?
Like 85 or something.
I'm all in.
Fishman shoves.
He even fake hesitated. Watch that Oscar,
I'm done.
Leo.
I'm done, Phil.
I see method acting, improv, pantomime. If Phil calls here, the kid stays in the picture.
Ha 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 ha. This acting is so terrible that it makes you wonder if it's not a double bluff. Helmut is going to blow up after he sees what Fishman is holding.
This is so sick. I mean, is it possible that I just get cooled every hand I play here? You got king, queen of clubs? I mean, I guess so.
Phil's put him on his exact hand.
God, all that talking leads me to believe that. Wow.
Now, that might be real. I'd certainly be shaking either way.
All right, I call.
Helmuth calls and sees king, queen of clubs.
Bingo! Can I even play in this game? I mean, what the they find? I mean, what the?
That was a great read, by the way. You had him.
Yeah, you're a real. The guy hits a miracle 10 on me, and what? You want to just step
He's
on
a
me?
school teacher, and you and him have endless trunks of money. Endless trunks of money. He's a school teacher. For God's sakes, man.
Screaming will do you a lot of good.
Everybody limps to Negreanu's big blind, happy to take an almost family pot with the loose cannon.
Buddy, he shows you nothing. He showed me a full house.
And there goes Tony G. See ya.
The flop comes rainbow, but both Negreanu and Helmuth hit top pair. Wiggins and Daniel check. Lack attacks the standard range poke on this dry board, hoping no one has a queen. Helmuth immediately bumps it to protect the queen and tacks any potential draws, denying price to gutters. Wiggins gets out of the way. Daniel now springs the trap and re-raises to more than $11,000.
Phil lock.
See ya.
And tries to rep a bigger queen at Phil's, and it sets the tone that the big blind can still own boards that strike his defending range. Phil, with queen 9 in position, makes the call. He beats every bluff, ties some value, and thinks Daniel can be overprotecting a queen or leaning on fold equity. The turn pairs the board with the 2 of diamonds. That card massively reduces the number of value combos Daniel must fear. But more importantly, the pair deuce kills a lot of Phil's semi-bluff equity and makes it harder for Phil to credibly have a monster. Daniel fires 12,000. This bet is thin for value plus protection, denies free cards, and prevents Phil from realizing with hands that raised flop light. Phil calls again, which is consistent with his plan to bluff catch cap lines and keep Daniel honest on rivers. The river is the 7 of clubs, a relative brick that doesn't complete the major straight draws. Daniel checks.
A queen.
Me too.
No kicker. Ah, I screwed that up. I should have moved in on the river. Damn it. God, I'm so unlucky. Stupid. Unreal. The deuce on the turn.
Deuce on the turn saves your ass.
Sick. He's supposed to bet there. I'm going to move it in. Who are these guys? Where do they come from? Sick.
Phil Helmut is looking down at ace jack off suit. He is raised to $2,000, but he's up against Harlow with pocket 8s. And Tony G, he's lurking, and he's not planning to stay quiet for long.
Action begins on Phil. Ace jack, raised to 2,000. Pocket pair for Russ.
Pot.
Raises to 7,200.
Harlow is the loose cannon in this game, which means he's an amateur who's been given $100,000 to play against 5 pros. Whatever he makes over $100,000, he gets to keep. Meanwhile, Tony G folded, but this is not the last time we see and hear of him this hand.
How much more you have?
Helmut is fishing for information, trying to get a read on the delivery driver. Every second Harlow spends fumbling with his chips gives Phil little clues about how strong he really feels.
Phil calls and gives him the WWE stare down. Helmuth off the top rope. The flop, 10-6 deuce, 3 clubs. Helmuth checks the nut flush draw.
Harlow's ahead for now, but Phil's sitting there with 2 overcards, a nut flush draw, and about 27 different ways to ruin this man's whole poker career. If Harlow fires a bet here, things could get messy fast, because Helmut is definitely not folding this one soon. But Harlow decides to check it back to him.
The turn gives Russ a set. Helmuth, chips in hand, leads out to 5,500.
Gotta take a chance sometime.
I'm supposed to think you're weak, right? Because you're talking?
I won't bet more than 9,000 on the river if you call.
I'm all in.
Russ Harlow, all in.
Helmet throws out a little feeler bet, just trying to stir the pot. But Harlow responds by setting the whole kitchen on fire. This is actually an incredible read from the delivery driver against arguably the best poker player of all time. Now Phil's got to decide if that nut flush draw is enough to pull him out of the flames, or if he's about to get roasted. He thinks for about 5 minutes and Tony G is starting to lose his patience.
So you potted it before the flop.
It's ridiculous.
What's ridiculous?
I mean, just make a decision, you know? Like, there's other people in the game, too. You're a professional player playing against a loose cannon. I mean...
Now I'm trying to make a decision for 43,000. Can you just shut the up? Call
You're
a
a
floor
professional
man.
player?
Call floorman.
You're insulting everyone. I mean, we're here, we want to play, too.
He's completely out of line here. So I
think he's completely out of line because he's been taking forever to make a decision. Against an amateur player coming in here as the best player in the world, taking 15 minutes to make a decision.
I haven't taken 15 minutes. You want to bet on that?
Well, you will.
You're
that's
so
why
out of
I'm
line.
talking
You know,
about it.
your etiquette's horrible. Stay out of this.
Gentlemen,
Stay out. Let's hear your ruling.
We're going to put you on the clock right now. You got a minute and 10 seconds.
That's your ruling?
Right.
I hope you're proud of yourself, Tony.
Story checks out.
Phil folds. And those are tears of joy.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on King-Queen offsuit. The table is four-way after Tony G opens, and Viffer, Negreanu, and Scott Seaver all come along. That matters because equities flatten in multi-way pots. Single pair hands lose value while nutted, and draw heavy holdings gain. Tony G's range from early position in this lineup still contains suited connectors.
There's room for everyone to keep improving.
I mean, the way you guys all play, there's certainly tons of room.
Yeah.
Scott calls.
I'm going to go with an old Hellmuth trick. Watch this, gentlemen. Check in the dark. How do you fade that? Seriously. Check in the dark. I don't even want to see what's coming.
Checking through is revealing. On this texture, the pre-flop raiser has a lot of one pair and gut shot combinations that dislike being raised by 3 players.
See how that worked? Because if I wouldn't have done that, they would have been more scared. My turn, right?
Daniel's still open-ended.
Did you qualify?
Yes, I've qualified pretty comfortably at this point. Question is, how much do I want to put in there?
You checked.
No, I'm not, for sure.
You're not checking?
Yeah. If you're folding any bet, you can just do that now. I'm going to put in...
The turn is the 7 of spades, a huge card for Tony G's side of the range, and a bad one for capped checkbacks. Negreanu leads $3,600 into the field, a small sizing that targets folds from the Broadway airballs, and denies equity to Queen 9, 9-8, and the club draws. Scott's call with Queen Jack keeps dominated queens in, but the raise from Tony G to $14,000 is the pivotal data point. After a street of passivity, that raise is heavily weighted to value.
If I win the pot, I'll give you your money back.
Negreanu's call with King-Queen looks ambitious only if you ignore blocker logic. He removes the queen that completes Tony G's higher straight and retains outs to the ace or 9 to make his own. Scott correctly recognizes he's in kicker jail and releases.
Wow, that was a big sweat.
Took a long time. That speech really got him.
He made a big laydown just now.
The river is the 9 of diamonds. Range-wise, it's a dagger for Tony G. His made straight from the turn remains a straight, but Negreanu's King-Queen now upgrades to the higher straight. When Negreanu fires $35,000, the story is polarized between exactly that high straight and bluffs that bricked clubs or random Queen X that tried to push Tony G off a one-pair hand.
Are you also offering my $4,800 back if you...
Tony calls and Daniel wins a $100,000 pot.
I had the nuts on the turn. Wow, well done.
Tedeschi kicks things off with pocket queens. He is raised to $36,000, but he's up against McAllister, whose cards we don't know yet.
Philip McAllister calls out of a stack of 1.74 million.
Yeah, that's a lot of dimp.
Rabba comes in from the big blind, so a 3-way to the flop.
Jaya Rabba.
And that flop is Queen 8-4 with 2 clubs. Looks like Rabba has checked to the razor.
Makes sense.
Tedeschi's pocket queens just flopped top set on a pretty dry board. It's a dream scenario for him, but McAllister and Rabba could easily have flush or straight draws since they just called pre-flop. So he's probably going to look for a value bet here.
It's been checked to McAllister. And I've been impressed by what we've seen from this guy today.
Pose. Really? It supposedly means you're comfortable. A lot of poker players sit like that.
So the bet from McAllister is 48K.
Rabba doesn't look like he's gonna fold here. We don't know if he's drawing or if he actually has a piece of the board. But after Tedeschi checked on the flop, he might raise and try to scare him off.
Rabba calls. Monsieur Tedeschi.
I think it's Paul Tedeschi, actually.
Tedeschi's in an interesting spot here. He's confident his hand is strong, but Rabba's call indicates some kind of draw or a strong pair. He's probably wondering if Rabba's just trying to see the turn cheaply or if he's setting up a move. It's a tricky decision. Does he bet for value or does he just call and allow these two bad boys to potentially bluff on the turn?
That's a call as well. We're still three-way as we go to the turn. Yeah, Jack of Hearts on the turn. Rabba checks. And I think that was a check from Tedeschi, yep.
He's gone from the one arm on one shoulder to two arms on two shoulders. The old water slide pose.
Philip McAllister bets again, 136,000.
This could be a potentially huge pot.
Especially as it looks like he's calling. He's raised all in. McAllister just called. He flats the all in. But look at the price he's getting.
Cool. Okay, well.
Does call.
No one has a pot-sized bet left behind now.
Good point.
The river brings the ace of hearts and Rabba's looking down at the board, still not knowing the strength of Tedeschi's hand. He could be holding a decent pair or even a straight, but the ace definitely changes the dynamic. Does he believe Tedeschi has a hand like two pair, or is he worried about a potential set or a straight? The ace might just be the card Rabba needs to bluff at this pot and try to steal it.
Do these two just check it down? No, they don't. He bets 300.
Actually competing for the main pot of 1.4 million. And now, McAllister moves all in.
How does everyone have a hand here?
I have no idea. Baffling the way this hand is played out. That's a call.
No, it's a fold.
Yes.
And he likes what he sees.
No, King 10 clubs.
King 10 of hearts for a royal flush.
It is a royal, and look at that, Tedeschi did have a set of queens. What a terrible, disgusting run out for what is going to be the best hand almost always.
This was a nasty royal flush poker river cooler. Daniel Negreanu looks down to King 10 offsuit, a hand with decent equity in a four-way pot. Against him is Elizabeth Houston, who opens to a Queen Jack offsuit. Let's see who will the poker gods bless this time.
See that? Cheap flop.
Reynolds folds.
Also makes it easier to call this 3-bet from Tony G.
He raises to 2,000. Queen Jack for the cannon. She calls out of position. So does Daniel.
And like that, Williams built himself his own little pot odds.
He calls too. 4-person party to the flop.
The flop comes 8 Queen Jack Rainbow, which is perfect for Houston. She is looking at top 2 pair with no danger of a flush and only a potential straight or a pocket pair being in her way. Her odds look great, but I think she should have bet harder before Negreanu had a chance to see more of the community cards.
I fold.
Thank you, William.
With the bet sizing being insufficient, even Tony G with his mid pair of jacks that have 2% equity will make the call. The turn delivers the 4 of spades. Things couldn't have been better for Houston. Pocket 4s would have probably folded, same as the pocket 6s from earlier, but she is still afraid of the flush and straight draw. That's why she fires a bet for a bit over half the pot, which I think will be yet again not enough to get Negreanu off his hand.
Daniel's checking out her stack, knowing she probably has something strong enough to lose it all if he does make the nuts.
Negreanu casually calls her $15,000 bet as predicted. But at least Tony G and his adventuristic jacks are gone. Now let's see what the turn will bring for Negreanu. And it is the ace. What a cooler this will be at the end.
That's Daniel's gin card, and this could get ugly for the cannon. I expect her to bet here.
Now she checks.
Somehow she knew to slow down. Daniel's got the nuts. Let's see how much he thinks she'll pay off.
50.
If Elizabeth has watched the show at all, she would know Daniel doesn't bluff raise the river very often. No one does.
If Elizabeth makes this call, she'll have less than 30,000 remaining in her stack.
Call.
Ouch.
She sees it.
Damn it.
She's in with 6s.
Jennifer Tilley kicks things off with pocket 6s. This is a decent hand to entertain a small raise with and see if luck is on your side.
Back on Arden. She calls the 3-bet as well, so 3-way to the flop. Oh my word, set over set and Griffin's flop top pair?
This is going to be bad for Griffin, but it's going to be real bad for Arden.
With the board that the flop delivers, everyone has something to bet about. But instead of that, Tilly and Cho decide to check. With that in mind, our weak top pair is trying to take control of the board by shooting a small bet of $2,500. Tilly is loving it because other than a set of kings, nothing else on the board beats her, and she would love to see this pot growing, so naturally she calls. Miss Cho, on the other hand, has a completely different plan. She is not waiting for the pot to grow. She is growing it herself. She does that by firing a $9,400 bet. Now Benger has a choice. Entertain this top pair, or realize the truth and just give up.
Why is he so serious? He's like a goober 99% of the time.
The angry man quickly decides to fold and not pursue the king. On the other hand, Tilly is more than happy to oblige Miss Cho by re-raising to $30,000 with her set of sixes.
Oh boy.
Jen re-raises $30,000.
At this point, Miss Cho should know the deep trouble she finds herself in, but still decides to go ahead and call on her set of fives. The turn delivers the 9 of clubs, a card that is completely irrelevant to both of them. If I was in the position of Tilly, I would be betting pot here. What would you? Let me know in the comments below. I guess Tilly is not so happy about my jamming suggestion, so she decides to check here and wait for something magical on river. Same thing for Miss Cho. In her case, though, that is in her favor.
And Arden spikes a 1-outer. She's got quads. Meanwhile, Jen has rivered a full house.
Buckle up, because this hand just went from pretty sick to absolutely bonkers.
People say patience is a virtue, but in Tilly's case, her patience came to bite her from behind. The river delivers the only card that can save Miss Cho, and that is the 5 of clubs. Now the only question is, will Tilly get baited by her now full house hand? Or will she read her for the quads Miss Cho has? And as we all thought she should do, Miss Cho goes.
There it is.
This is not good.
No, it sure isn't.
If Jen calls, this will be the biggest pot of the game.
Arnon, you have quads because it can't be quads.
Does she know?
I don't think you have kings full. And I don't think you have nines full. You might have fives full.
That's a call.